I'd like to go ahead and call the regular meeting of the Sutter Local Agency Formation Commission meeting as of Thursday, September 11th, 2025. May we have the roll call, please?
Chair Baumgarten.
Here.
Commissioner Chapdelaine. Commissioner Elphick.
Here.
Commissioner Munger.
Here.
Commissioner Ripley.
Here.
Commissioner Stevens.
Here.
Commissioner DeZakemeyer.
All right, thank you. Could we have next the Pledge of Allegiance, and Mr. Bumpus, would you please lead us in the pledge? All right, next item on our agenda is our minutes. Looking for a recommendation to approve.
So moved.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Elphick, a second by Commissioner Munger. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes have been approved. Item number 3, public comment. Members of the public are invited to address the commission on any matter of interest to the public that is not on the agenda for a period of time not exceeding 5 minutes. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the commission cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda, but may add to a future agenda matters brought up under public comments for appropriate action at a future meeting. I do believe we have one person that wanted to introduce themselves to us this.
Good afternoon. I just want to take the time to introduce myself. My name is Greg Pote, and as of July 15th, I took over as the fire chief for Robbins Sutter Basin Fire Protection District. And just wanted to, I've met a couple of you in the past, just wanted to introduce myself to anybody that I might not have met. And then if you have any questions for me after the meeting, I'd feel free to stick around and answer any questions or introduce myself to everybody.
Awesome, thanks. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And I'm sure Robbins is glad to have you too. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none. Item number 4, LAFCO 24-002, continued public hearing. Consideration and possible approval of a municipal service review, MSR, and sphere of influence, SOI, update for the fire service and emergency medical service providers in Sutter County, including county service areas C, D, F, G, the cities of Live Oak and Yuba City, Meridian and Robbins Sutter Basin Fire Districts, and by County Ambulance Company. The commission will consider making determinations as required by Government Code Section 56425 and 56430 for each fire agency provider. And at this time, go ahead and turn this over to Mr. Libby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So since we were last gathered back on July 10th, we took in the public comment. The MSR document was updated, put back on the street 21 days ago. And at that point, we did receive a couple additional comments from the city of Live Oak and Robbins Sutter Basin Fire District. Our consultant, Brandon Fender with RSG's kind of go into the changes with you, but some of the minor changes that resulted from the most recent comments did require update to our comment memo and the resolution that's before you. We actually handed out an updated resolution ahead of today's meeting. And so if your commission were to take action, we would request that your motion include adopting the amended resolution. So with that in mind, today also we did receive some comments from Lindsay Moore. She is an attorney representing the Pleasant Grove Fire Association. And so we did forward those out to your commission this morning when we received it. We also printed out copies of that letter, hard copy, so you have it in front of you now. And so I just wanted to say that in response to that communication, that, an MSR or a municipal service review is not a mechanism to consolidate districts or county service areas. It basically is a snapshot in time of where these agencies are at. It also explores options and potential opportunities for these agencies. Any future action would require coordination and discussion with each of those agencies if anything were to come forward in the future. LAFCO can certainly play a part as kind of a middle ground to facilitate those discussions, and that kind of feeds into LAFCO's goal as articulated by the legislature, which is to make smart governmental boundaries and help create more efficient government. And so I think LAFCO does have a role there. So with that said, I would introduce again Brandon Fender with RSG. They are a consultant in putting together this MSR.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners. Can we start the slide deck? All right.
Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Is there any of the commissioners that didn't receive the email and would like to take a look at the letter at some point? And if so, would you rather do that after this presentation or take a moment and read it now? Okay. We'll read it after your presentation then. Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to make sure everybody had all the proper public comment.
No problem. Good afternoon. Brandon Fender with RSG. I'm Senior Associate. We are a California-based consulting firm that works with local governments, LAFCOs, counties, cities across the state, special districts as well. We work on a lot of LAFCO-related matters. So we're doing municipal service reviews throughout California. I've studied fire in Siskiyou County, Plumas County. We're working in San Joaquin County, Yolo County. So all over, and my colleagues are working in Sacramento, El Dorado. We work all over the state, from Chula Vista to Siskiyou. We also worked with Plan West. They were our partner on this project. They're based out of Northern California, and they brought a fire technical expert to the project, and he was a part of all the interviews with the agencies and affected and interested parties. And Bill was here last time, you may remember him. What we're discussing today is a countywide fire and EMS MSR. Apologize for the acronyms, Municipal Service Review. We studied 8 fire protection and emergency medical service providers. That includes the 2 cities, 2 fire protection districts, and the 4 county service areas. This is a calendar of the events that occurred over the last year. So RSG and Plan West were retained last summer to do this MSR. We began our data collection last August. We conducted agency interviews between November of last year and February of this year. The draft municipal service review was circulated to agencies for initial technical review in April. The MSR was published to LAFCO's website on June 18th for the first time for public review. We had a public hearing in July, and then that brings us to today, our second public hearing. As Doug mentioned, we've received a number of public comments. We've received comments from both cities, Sutter Fire Protection District, the county, LAFCO commissioners, the public. We received a total of 16 emails, letters, and comments from the public in general. This represents one of the most robust feedback processes that I've been a part of throughout my work on municipal service reviews. So I want to recognize the amount of feedback that the districts, the agencies, the public, the commission gave us in this process. It was very robust, and I appreciate all of it. I'm going to go through the district profiles. So these slides are very similar to what you saw in July, with the exception of what we've added. So that's the red line text. And this is based on the feedback that we've received in writing and then at the meeting, at the previous meeting. And I'm going to go through those changes as we speak here. So number one, with City of Live Oak, long-term financial sustainability remains uncertain. Costs to provide services generally are rising faster than the revenues that support those costs. This is not an uncommon situation throughout California. Many municipal service providers, fire districts, special districts are experiencing these same issues in California. And we do want to recognize that when it comes to Live Oak. The SOI recommendation here is to affirm the city's SOI, and you'll see that remains unchanged. That's the black text. The red represents the red lines or the changes since the last meeting. The next bullet is to consider establishing a permanent funding source. So this in response to fiscal concerns, again, with pretty much all of the agencies that are looking forward, we're recommending that these agencies explore or look into special assessments or parcel tax to help them ensure long-term sustainability and the ability to provide services in the long term. And then finally, we also added a discussion about considering broader countywide consolidation. We kind of had this in the MSR, but we've expanded it and added this recommendation to each agency to be consistent across the board. This is not something you're taking action on today. It's merely a recommendation for future consideration. The MSR that you're considering today, to step back a moment prior to City of Live Oak, the MSR you're considering today, it affirms all of the existing boundaries. So there's no changes to the sphere of influence or the boundaries, and there are no changes to the services that are provided by any of these agencies and how they're provided. So these recommendations are things that we are laying the groundwork for that should be studied in more detail in the future. That's kind of take it to a level that is not, that's beyond the scope of a municipal service review. So the service review is intended to identify some of these issues, and we've laid out some potential solutions such as permanent funding sources or countywide consolidation, but that you're not really making those changes as part of this service review approval. Next up is Yuba City. The only red line that we have here is the related to countywide consolidation. So again, not a change to municipal service provision, but it's a recommendation to be studied in the future with a more detailed study. County Service Area C, you're going to see the same kind of recommendation multiple times here. Again, we're recommending to be consistent across the county, exploring or establishing a permanent funding source, such as a special assessment or parcel tax, and then consider countywide consolidation at a later date. County Service Area D, same recommendations, consider broader countywide consolidation, and then the permanent funding source as well. County Service Area F, same recommendations. We've added in considering countywide consolidation at a later date. And then we also flagged that this station number 8, which is the Oswald Tudor Station, that is being recommended or to be studied. It needs to be studied in more detail. But this came up in our discussions with the service provider to move that station 8 miles south to better align with the existing and future service demands in the county. Again, the MSR is not going to, change the course of action with that, but it's something that we recommend considering because it came up in the discussions and the service review. I have this blue red line here, blue line, if you will, for County Service Area G, because this line, this is the same as the other districts, considering broader countywide consolidation, but it was left out of the red line version that was published on the website. So to be consistent across all the service providers, we're recommending that we add this recommendation in. And then we're also recommending considering permanent funding source, such as special assessment or parcel tax as well. Same recommendations for Meridian Fire Protection District. The new red lines are to consider exploring a broader countywide consolidation and then consider permanent funding source in the future. Sorry, this is very repetitive. And then the last, Robin Sutter, I think this is my last one here. Yes. With Robin Sutter, again, consider exploring countywide consolidation. We also made substantial revisions to the beginning of the MSR that has red lines. You'll see a discussion about staffing and response time standards. And then I copied staff's recommendation here. Again, I want to point out, do I have a bullet point or oh, that's how it works right there. Sorry. Okay. I want to point out the sphere of influence update for Sutter County. We're confirming each agency's sphere of influence with no modifications. So what that means is the municipal service review is not changing any of the existing boundaries of these fire protection districts, regardless of the recommendations that we've made. Those would need to be studied in more detail with a feasibility study or a master plan or something like that in more detail and specifically focused on that objective. So no changes to the sphere of influences or to the provision of services with these changes. And then I noted at the bottom here that we added in with CSAG's SOI determinations that LAFCO may consider exploring broader countywide consolidation. That was the blue line that was left out of the red line draft of the report posted to the website. I'll take questions.
Thank you, Brandon. Any questions for Brandon before we move on with this?
Through the chair.
Yes.
Brandon, I'm puzzled, and I'm probably going to get myself in trouble here. So we get a big report, and basically what I'm hearing is everything stays the same, but our system still broke. I want to see resolution to the problems. Was that not in the scope of this study?
A good question. So a service review is intended to be a planning document for LAFCO to use for future sphere of influence decisions. You can't make a sphere of influence decision unless you have an updated municipal service review. So this lays the groundwork to take that action in the future. But today, what we've laid out a number of recommendations. But today we're affirming the SOIs, the spheres, and the service reviews, service provision throughout the county. I will add that best practice is for things like this, reorganization or consolidation, it should really be driven by the districts. You want, maybe it's the county service areas or the independent districts or the cities. You really want the service providers to drive the reorganization because you'll have buy-in from the agencies from the beginning there. So we've laid out a number of suggestions, but really the action needs to start with the agencies.
So what we can do is use this study in order to go out and try to sell a solution. Is that kind of putting it in a good way?
I mean, you can, yeah. I mean, you can do whatever you'd like with this.
Thank you.
Through the chair. In looking at this recap, so, and I agree with the statement before, is that we're looking at the same sphere of influence for everybody, but the one thing we're saying in each one of these is that none of them have enough money for the future. Is that correct?
So today, I think all the districts are functioning. This is, again, not an uncommon problem in California. It's kind of the Prop 13, the cards we were dealt with Prop 13. Looking forward, and this has been the case for several years, decades even, the cost to provide services has grown faster than the revenue sources. So
Well, and population is growing too, so there's more there to cover in the next 5 years. But consolidation would address some of these issues. Is that correct?
I can't answer that today. It would require further study,
Okay.
but that's potentially a solution to these financial issues. Yes.
Okay, so it really boils down to we accept this, what you've done here, and then it's up to us to say, okay, we've got to start looking at these individually and collectively because there's not enough money for 5 years to cover everything.
Yeah, and it could be again driven by LAFCO, or it could be driven by the service providers.
Right. And hopefully it would be both combined. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, circling back, do any of you need any more time to read the letter that came in today? Ms. Elphick, did you want a moment to read? Sure, okay, we're going to take a little, I think we're done with you for now, Brandon. You know, as one that was on the ad hoc committee trying to put a company in here to actually get an MSR done, so thankful that we worked with you. Obviously, you know, and perhaps the audience is aware of some of the stops and starts we had. So very, very appreciative of what you have produced. And as you mentioned, it's a document that has its use probably now, but also looking forward. So from me anyway, I just want to give you my thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So if my understanding was right, that we don't really change anything or anything, is there time, is it imperative that we accept this document right away, or if we didn't, we would continue to maybe adjust it, or how would that work?
So a service review is intended to be updated on a 5-year cycle. So this is intended to be, this kind of gives you the ability to make sphere of influence changes for the next 5 years. And then at that point, it would need to be updated prior to any additional sphere changes to these districts. So this, you know,
I guess what I might be asking, like these letters that we got and different ideas out there, maybe is it important we get it done in the next 2 weeks, or could it be in the next 6 months, or is time of the essence in any way on this study or proposal?
I think I will take that one. Commissioner Stevens, this commission has been wanting to complete a comprehensive fire municipal service review. I think I can go back in the record to probably around 2020. So here we are, you know, at 5 years into it. It's the first time in the county that there's been a comprehensive review. As you noted, it's a status quo thing. However, this document lays breadcrumbs for each of the agencies. And so I would say, as the executive officer, it is up to each of these agencies to take that to heart, have some conversations, and then possibly bring LAFCO back into the conversation to go forward. Staff would recommend that with the amended resolution that the commission accept the municipal service review. That kind of gets us onto a footing for the next 5 years. There are recommendations in there, and then in 5 years we can revisit it and see where everyone's at. But at the end of the day, this commission does not have the authority to impose parcel taxes and those things. As you know, that happens in a separate process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Libby, just a follow-up. So the MSR has a life of, assuming we stay on it, of 5 years. But that doesn't mean that LAFCO can't come together if something changes and address it at any time. Is that correct? I mean, it's a recommendation every 5 years. If something miraculously good happened, or heaven forbid something not so good happened, we can take a look at that again, correct?
Absolutely. I think it's important to note that this commission adopted I'll call it a county MSR light for the CSAs back in 2017 when I was on my sabbatical away from LAFCO. And then, but just 3 years later, a lot changed. And this commission felt it was important to do a comprehensive review. And so that's when you started taking those steps. So yes, 5 years is what the statute requires. However, you can also do it more frequently.
Thank you, Ms. Elphick.
What I'm getting out of this is LAFCO doesn't have the authority to do anything about it. The different districts have to come together or talk about it or look at their issues for funding, so forth, in the next 5 years. But can't LAFCO also be part of encouraging that to occur?
Yeah, LAFCOs absolutely have a seat at the table. And sometimes LAFCOs as kind of a middle agency can best serve the community by being that middle ground and helping to facilitate those discussions. But yeah, absolutely, LAFCO has a seat at the table because ultimately any proposal for consolidation or changing a boundary is going to come before your commission.
Through the chair, it seems to me that that is something we should recognize and come up with through discussions, some kind of a plan on how to encourage these different districts to address. The financial part is huge. That is huge. And we know, just common sense, that this population is going to grow in that 5-year period. And the services are going to be pushed. So, thank you.
Did you have time to read?
Yes, thank you.
Everybody's good. Okay. So the next step here then is to go ahead and reopen the continued public hearing. So we'll do that now. And so the public hearing, I have to read. Hold on. All right. Actually, I don't have a script here. So from council, we can just open the public hearing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So the public hearing is open. I've opened it. If I didn't, I opened it again, continued. And we do have a couple speaker cards, and I will find those. So the first one is Mr. Dennis James. Please come to the podium behind you.
Now I guess, okay, I got it. I'm Dennis James. I'm from Pleasant Grove, California, down South County here. And first thing I'm going to say, I sent Doug Libby a email today, but he did not get it. So I'm kind of Johnny-come-lately to the party here, but I'm probably going to read this into your record. But first of all, I'd like to say that it appears to me that we have several districts that some of them are doing very well. Pleasant Grove is being one of those. And some of them not doing so well. And we're trying to consolidate them all. And my concern is that we're going to consolidate them and make all of them worse, the same, but we're not going to make we're not going to copy the good ones. Pleasant Grove is a very efficient deal. And then the other thing is in his presentation, all I heard is more taxes, more taxes, and more taxes. And where does that stop? With that said, I'm going to get to my letter here that I wrote to Mr. Libby. And it says, Mr. Libby, I'm writing to bring light to a mistake and misclarification of the Pleasant Grove Fire Department and the MRS that is under review by your agency. On page 26 of this report, Pleasant Grove Fire Department is referred to as a CSAD, a dependent special district formed in 1963. Actually, when we look at the structure of the fire district, it is clear that it is operating and has always operated as an independent special district since its formation in 1963. Please see the attached, and I attached two forms that to give a brief definition of what an independent and an independent district is. And then I continue. If you have any documents or dates that this special district has been changed from an independent district to a dependent district, please provide all documentation. The Pleasant Grove Fire Department is controlled by the is not controlled by the County Board of Supervisors or their appointees, but rather by the community of Pleasant Grove. The Pleasant Grove Fire Department has operated and still operates by the Pleasant Grove Fire District Board without the approval of the County Board of Supervisors and for the daily operation of the fire department. Although you may feel that this is a small matter, there are many of us who feel that this is a large issue and thus your MRS is flawed and even worse, perhaps illegal and void. I request the LAFCO postpone the approval of this draft and review how this mistake affects the entire MRS. Thank you for consideration. And just real quick, I'm going to read the couple of little quick definitions that I have on dependent. A dependent special district is a local government agency that provides a specific service within a limited area, but is governed by the Sutter County Board of Supervisors or its appointees. An independent special district is a district in Sutter County, is locally governed entirely by and that provides specific services within defined boundaries and is governed by its own directly elected or appointed board of directors. Unlike a dependent special district, its operations are independent from the county's board of supervisors. And it goes on from there, but I think you get the drift of what it is. And Pleasant Grove, I was, maybe that tall when Pleasant Grove was started. To be honest with you, I was 10 years old. I remember when it was started, my father was part of that. Many other farmers were there, and they started it and worked with the county to do it, but it has always been controlled by the Pleasant Grove community. And I object to being thrown into a bigger, especially when we are very efficient. We do things correct down there, and we don't waste money. And I object to being thrown into a bigger category with other departments that don't do the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I don't know if you want to address the consolidation thing one more time. I just want to make sure, Mr. James, we're not here to consolidate anybody here today. Just accept a report. Thank you. Okay, next up is, and I'm sorry, I'm going to probably butcher the last name, but it's Ethan Ralan? Rakan. Thank you.
We'll go to hit the button. Thank you. Doug was nice enough to share that you have a letter in front of you written by a colleague of mine, Kingsley Bogart, named Lindsay Moore. I'm here to just sort of briefly review some of the salient points of that letter. I know that the consolidation is not really being considered by the commission today, but I do want to emphasize a few things about the MSR itself that are covered in that letter. The first is that, and Mr. Libby already touched on this, the MSR is a snapshot in time. It's between 2019 and 2023, which is a time period that is not going to accurately reflect the next 5 years. The Sutter Point development is already underway, and it's expected that building permits could be pulled for the active adult community as soon as the end of this year. If that happens, it's very likely that a new CSA is expected for Sutter Point, and with that in mind, with that potential change coming, we feel that any suggestion of consolidating C, D, and F is premature at this point. Second, and Dennis just touched upon this, Pleasant Grove has been operating, if not as an independent district, whether that legal definition is correct, it has been successfully serving its residents for more than 60 years. It's been doing that in a way that's fiscally solvent and in a way that is providing effective services for its community. And we're hopeful that if the commission continues to move forward with this MSR, that Pleasant Grove will continue to be an active participant in those discussions, which to date it does not feel it has been the case in the way this MSR was developed. And Marty, if you want to add anything, you certainly can. But thank you for the commission for your time.
Hello. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I welcome you all to come to our 10-4 party on 10-4. 10-4, good buddy. I see there's a couple of new faces for our fire service here. First of all, I'd like to ask us to take a minute for 9/11 today, if you don't mind, if that's acceptable to the commission. Thank you. Thank you very much. Moving forward, we are physically sound. I've been doing this job not as the chief, but at the department for over four decades, and that's quite a long time for anything. As a volunteer, and I do get a stipend now as a chief, and I just want to say that it concerns us with consolidation factors, even though that may or may not happen. One of the things that is concerning to us right now is we have the new development going on down there. We need to be involved with the committee meetings. We need to be involved with the developer, and it's not going on. Everything's being handled by Service Area CSA F, which is North County. We are all CSA districts. C, D, and F are all the same entities. Why they're being able to table more time with the developers and what's going on is not fair to us down there in the South County. We manage our money well, we manage our people well, and as it is, I think our times and response times are very well accomplished in the report. So if you want to take a look at that, but we just ask that we are involved with the meetings. If there's any input, Doug has my email, and we can communicate better. Moving forward, however, we do, and we are considering combining Service Area C and D together to eliminate one of those because of the fact that it's harder to get volunteers and we don't have the funding to put on full-time staffing for another chief. So keep that in mind. Is that good enough? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody else from the public? Okay. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission.
Through the chair.
Please.
I think it's been very beneficial to have this MSR on the fire issues and for this information to be brought to us. But it's not going to make much difference unless the different districts get together and talk about it and whether they even want to just continue as they are, because we can't change it. The only thing we can do is if they come to us for a change, is say yes or no. So I have no other questions on the resolution because to me it's just a resolution of information.
To the chair.
Yes.
I go back to one of my original questions. Is there any need to hurry this? Like Mr. James brought up, unless legal counsel can answer his question, do we need to take a look at that before we vote on something like this? Is there any hurry to get this done today? And I don't see anything because it really hasn't changed anything, but maybe I don't understand. But to me, I just want to make sure it is all done correctly.
My understanding is that the description in the report is the legally accurate description for the CSA. And you know, Mr. Libby had noted that we are past the 5-year mark. We don't have a current MSR in place for these services. So that is one timeline to consider. But otherwise, we're not under any statutory timeline to have it approved within a certain amount of days. And then also, as noted, I think previously, no movement can be made without adopting this.
So we have to, we have to, and if we decided to do something as a county to try to alleviate the problems with the fire districts, we have to have this in place.
Yes.
Okay.
Without any other questions or comments, entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the resolution 2025 for the Sutter Local Agency Formation, determining the project exempt from California Environmental Quality and adopting municipal service review. And this would be the amended review, is that correct?
Amended resolution.
The amended resolution.
Amended resolution.
I have a motion. Second.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Elphick, a second from Commissioner Mumger. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Item number 4 passes unanimously. Thank you. And Brandon, thank you again. And Doug and staff as well. And thank you in the audience for participating. And I know consolidation can be a touchy subject, and I know that before anything like that would happen, having lived through one of those, there's a lot of ground to cover before it can happen. So I think if that ever even comes up, we'll be looking at it again. So item number 5, consideration to authorize the executive officer to enter into an independent contractor agreement between the Sutter Local Agency Formation Commission and RSG Inc. to prepare a municipal service review and sphere of influence update for the city of Live Oak. Mr. Libby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So our consultant RSG, they went through an RFP process back in 2024. They were selected to prepare the fire MSR. I think that's been a successful effort. It's got a lot of good information out for both the public, the agencies, and this commission. So from staff's perspective, we're very happy with the work that they've completed for us. So we brought forward ideas and recommendations for strategizing for next MSRs beginning in January, and then in our proposed budget this fiscal year. The city of Live Oak was identified as an agency needing to have an updated municipal service review because the last one completed was in like 2012. We're proposing to have RSG complete that work for us. And so the contract amount, if I remember correctly, was like $46,000. Definitely substantially less than the fire municipal service review that was is now completed. And so we're excited to continue working with RSG. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Libby? Any comment from the public? Okay. Hearing no public comment, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ziegemeier, second by Commissioner Stevens on item number 5. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Hearing none, item 5 passes unanimously. Item number 6, the executive officer's report. Mr. Libby?
Yes, sir. So we are anticipating Sutter County to file an application with LAFCO in the near future to implement the Sutter Point specific plan in South Sutter County. County Counsel's office, who serves as LAFCO counsel, has informed us that there is a conflict of interest. And so staff is in the process to identify an alternate counsel to work with us. And it's good to have a backup. And so I'm having those conversations. I anticipate bringing forward a recommendation to you at your November 13th meeting. The only other thing I wanted to bring up was that the Cal-LAFCO annual conference is coming up in late October. And so our chair, Boongarden, and Commissioner Ziegemeier will be attending as well as myself. And so we can report back to you after the conference. So that would conclude my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Libby. Yes.
Doug, can you, I really didn't follow where's the conflict with LAFCO, or how is there a conflict? I'm not sure.
The County Counsel's Office for Sutter County provides legal advice for the county in relations to the Sutter Point specific plan and that development. And so there may be a conflict of interest in providing legal advice directly to LAFCO on that matter.
So how will that work? Will we have to go outside, or?
Right, it will be outside counsel.
Yeah, so I'm talking with potential outside counsel, and then my goal would be to bring to this commission a proposed contract for that outside counsel in November.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any reports from any of the commissioners?
Through the chair.
Yes.
On this consolidation, I've gone through it once with 2 fire departments, And I've got to say that each fire department, it wasn't LAFCO that made them do it. It was they came together and said, we would work better as combining the two forces. So they came up with a JTPA. And it worked very, very well, and both parties were satisfied. But it doesn't happen in a day or two. It takes a lot of work to come up with it.
A lot of work, a lot of years, trust me. Anybody else?
Through the chair,
Yeah.
I believe the chief would like to say something if you would open it back up.
Sure.
Should be this comment related to the public hearing that has been closed?
No, I'd like to just ask Ms. Edna here if I can just rebut to that question about the combining for a minute.
The public comment could be allowed by the chair, but I don't suggest that the board engage in further conversation since it's not.
How about if we do that after the meeting? She'll be available after the meeting.
That's fine. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other commissioner comments? Okay, seeing none, then we'll stand adjourned.